We are here for you. Hello.
Hello.
We are the creators. We are a 12th dimensional collective of non physical beings who you can experience as pure consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. I've enjoyed your messages. I would like to initiate this conversation by saying, first of all, thank you for your sharings.
Yes.
Thank you definitely to Daniel Scranton for his gift he's given to the collective of humanity and whoever else is listening.
Well, we thank you for your appreciation.
It's the kindest thing I can give. I would like to give more, which I will,
Yeah.
and I am. Um, I would like to keep it short and sweet. I like to get hit by a lot of information. I would ask to push the boundaries in the information which is shared.
Very good.
I feel, I feel like I am at a point where I've heard so much that I don't really need to hear much more of this level. I would like the next level, really expansive information, because I'm at a point now where I'm instilling it in my total focus is on vibration, nothing else,
Yes. Yes, we can tell.
only vibration.
Yes.
Um, the synchronicities are so profound now, subtle and not what I expect, but clear enough that I know that I am on the right path. And I've had to come to the acceptance that I must be honest in my word and actions, not thoughts, for thoughts just come and go.
Yes.
But the actions I take are that conscious aspect of me and the free will aspect of me to ground my true self into this moment.
Indeed.
So I have a few curiosity questions.
Yes.
The light spectrum, when it's broken up, you start off with maybe a pinky red or red, going into orange, yellow, green, blue, purple.
Yes.
Does the red and purple meet, or is it just the two different spectrums? How would you clarify that for me?
Yes. They meet. They are continuations of each other. And therefore they meet, creating
So
more of a circular experience than a linear experience.
and yet when they're broken up, say in a prism, they never touch. The red and the purple would never touch.
Yes.
But is that due to,
The shape of the prism.
okay, so they would actually, depending on the shape of the prism, they would actually touch.
Yes.
Can a shape like that be created in 3D on Earth?
Yes, indeed.
Has it been done?
We sense that there are secret societies that have access to that type of crystal.
The occult, which just means hidden.
Yes.
The occult, Mark Passio, this was another synchronicity, and Aleister Crowley and all these things about keeping the knowledge hidden from humanity, but then of course it's leaking out.
It is.
And not only from them, but through channels like you, Bashar. And Bashar said something really interesting, which just makes me. He said, I am not actually Bashar, I am Daryl's higher self, just utilizing the idea of Bashar because humanity at this time is not ready to accept that they are so powerful that they can be this. So really, all these ideas of channelers, are there such things as ninth, 12th, fifth dimensional beings, or is it just us playing different roles because we do not feel comfortable yet to acknowledge ourselves as all that is?
Well, it's an extension. It depends upon how you look at the situation, in the same way that you look at the color spectrum as an extension of the same light, the same source. And so we are an extension of Daniel, but we are so much more than that as well. There has to be a connection between the channeler and that which is being channeled, or who is being channeled. And so with Daryl and Bashar, the higher self is like the meeting point for those two aspects of the oversoul of Daryl and Bashar, the coming together of the red and the purple, to create something new, something different. So it's like his higher self, but that's more of a way of describing something that you don't really have the means with which to understand what's happening. It's a merging, and the merging of the energies creates something new. It creates a new dimensional framework.
So this makes me think that the process is now of merging, which is that, but that will reflect towards everything. So is the merging we're all coming back to one point of source?
Yes.
And the natural progression of source is to expand, contract for infinity.
Yes.
Okay. And the galaxy will come together in that reflective nature, or how does that look? Of course it will.
If in the physical sense, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so we're all coming closer. So we're not actually moving away from each other.
Correct.
So then when I hear channelers say, now is the time for integration.
Yes.
That means that once integration is done, then there is a time for segregation.
Well, there is also a time to experience the integration, you see.
Okay.
So you're not in such a hurry to get to the next stage and to the next stage. And the source energy is not in such a hurry to expand so that it can contract again, so that it can expand again, you see.
Okay, yes.
So there is experience of the integrated self that is coming. And that's going to be what you would refer to as the ascension process.
Yes.
And what happens after that is the experience.
I get the feeling of, though, what is the point of the experience? What is the value of the experience if the next step is to expand again, be segregated?
It's to feel. That's the purpose of it. Because it's one thing to know something.
Yes.
And it's another thing to feel it, and you can only feel it by experiencing it.
Okay.
And you can only experience it by creating it. So you're in the process of always creating something new to experience, to feel, and then to have that visceral knowing, which it goes beyond the knowing that is of the mind or the intellect, of who and what you really are.
That says to me that we will instill this knowing, and there is a continuation of that knowing. There, in a sense, is a memory of that knowing. Otherwise, there would be no point in knowing.
Yes, but then what you become to know has shifted, because each time source expands, it expands into more.
Okay.
Than the previous expansion, which means there's always going to be more of self to explore.
So the so it's a conscious expansion of source. Is source itself conscious?
Yes.
Okay, because I pictured it being. Of course, it's conscious. I'm conscious. Um,
Yes.
I just feel so honored to be on this journey and to know these things.
Yes.
And I always laugh to myself because I say, once I get it, I wouldn't want to share it because I want people to discover it by themselves and have that value of experience. But then I say, well, that's all good, but you got it because people shared it.
Yes.
So share it too, but don't shove it down people's throats.
Correct.
So I would like to ask the best way. I know you've said it, and other aspects of Daniel have channeled it. The best way to help humanity is being a leading example. And just a quick recap,
Yes.
like a higher perspective now. Like I want the gold. I want the best. I feel like I can handle like the real big stuff now, and I would welcome it. And I'm definitely sharing this conversation on YouTube. In the greater scheme of things, what, in your perspective, is the next step?
For you or for humanity?
I always see it as a collective now.
Yes. So you see yourself as the collective of humanity.
Yes, I do.
Yes. The next step is not so much an action for humanity. It is a loosening. It is a letting go of the tightly held beliefs that you all have about what is right and what is wrong,
Yes.
so that you can come together as a collective and not need to segregate or separate based upon what you believe is right and what that person over there is doing. Because if you are a finger pointer and you maintain the victim perpetrator model, the
Mm-hmm.
us and them dichotomy,
Yeah.
then you continue to play out the game that you're playing of extreme polarity. And that's not going to get you to that integrated space that you all want to be in so that you can ascend together.
Yeah.
There has to
I
be a level of forgiveness, and everyone can participate in forgiveness on a personal level. That helps to bring the collective forward in a way that honors and respects every single person's experience, no matter how foreign it may seem, or odd, or even wrong it may seem to an individual.
I've had a lot of I like to say downloads, but basically thoughts which have been around that subject, and then the clarity from that, which was everything is all right, every action is all right,
Yes.
and it doesn't justify continuing if it might not be as integrative as some other aspects. But in the end, every individual is entitled to their own action. I just agree with what some other aspects have said, as in, as long as it doesn't harm and create separation.
Yes.
Uh, but that too is a condition. Is it literally like everyone can do what they want?
Yes, it is, because there will always be someone who wants to participate in whatever another person wants to engage in. So
Yes.
if you take the furthest extreme of this and you say, when someone murders someone else,
Yeah.
how could that possibly be something that a person would want to experience? Well, the level of ego is not going to choose that experience for the most part. Some would, as a form of punishment or something like that, or just wanting to leave. But for the most part, that decision is made by the Oversoul.
Yeah.
And it is an agreement by the two parties. Now, as you begin to see that more and more, as you
Yes.
understand that everything is happening by agreement and by co-creation, then you can live and let live.
Oh yeah.
You see?
I do know.
Yes. But you also can have compassion for those who are in the moment forgetting that they made that agreement.
Okay.
You see. So the person who
Yeah.
is in the moment not wanting to experience the murder, being the victim of the murder in that scenario, that person needs compassion, and the compassion is another step forward for humanity. As you see that both parties, because the murderer is suffering on some level as well, both
Oh yeah.
parties could use some more compassion and some less judgment and pity and the things that you experience when you think that something is an atrocity, that something just shouldn't be, because it must be, or it wouldn't be.
I agree, but for an example, a lot of these, I don't know if it's true or not, I haven't been there, but a lot of these occultists or secret societies, you hear them about eating fetuses, and you have
Yes.
these fetus markets in China. And it just made sense to me. We are cannibals in a sense, and that's a natural aspect of us. We eat meat. Why not eat our own? And I can see how, from that aspect of the higher self, a fetus can agree to be eaten by another human being. One thing I find challenging is the common sense in this whole game, that someone feels the need to harm someone else, only because I have grown out of that. I can understand when I was younger,
Yes.
I had no compassion or understanding for life,
Yes.
and I would do things and I would harm animals. But over time, I understood from being harmed myself that it's a double-edged sword, and that's where I learned compassion. And now I really don't harm it. I focus on not harming anything and anyone. Um, am I conditioning myself out of an aspect, or is that the way of natural progression within this integrative ascension?
It's the way of natural progression. And it's the reason why those who are participating in acts like eating a fetus, those must be allowed to progress.
Okay.
And the only way to help someone progress is to have compassion for that person who is under the false impression that they need something like that in order to get them to where they want to go, that they couldn't possibly get it from within themselves because they don't really believe in themselves as source energy beings.
Yeah. This makes me, though, see that my highest excitement is to be that shining light. And I had a really good download about the Dead Sea, and it just made all sense. It just made so much sense. And I don't know if I'm giving myself permission slips because everything is inherently neutral.
Yes.
But it was the fact that you can float in the Dead Sea, and then you can create that weightlessness, you can create that sensory deprivation, and you can reach those higher states because you're no longer feeling anything. and then for it to be around Jerusalem, Galilee, River Jordan, like
Yeah.
from the old biblical times, Dead Sea Scrolls, all this information. I truly believe that the Dead Sea has more life in it than we would like to see.
Yes.
I can picture myself floating in the Dead Sea, looking at the stars while closing my eyes, going in and going real deep because of the sensory deprivation, and having that weightless experience as if I'm like in space. I truly believe that this is a collective, even though I am a singular aspect of it. I would like, however, like to ask. I've always wanted to fly, and I will head to the Dead Sea to achieve that, and I know I can.
Yes.
But I want to know, is that part of the collective agreement that we can go our own way in that sense and still show humanity that aspect of ourselves?
To be able to fly.
Yes.
Yes, it is a possibility.
Okay.
And when you participate in something that is, from another perspective, something that is impossible,
Which is nothing is impossible.
correct, then you help that person to gain that clarity, that wisdom that comes from experiencing something that you're doing that they thought was impossible. So you are helping by pursuing something that is calling you. That experience is something that's calling you. It wouldn't be calling you for no reason.
No.
And everything does benefit the collective, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So you are benefiting the collective by showing even the few individuals, because even if you were seen on video flying, people would just say, well, it was a CGI or it was some sort of trick. But for those who would actually be able to witness you in flight, those people, that would be the next step on their journey, would be to see that,
Oh, yeah.
to
And
burst
that would
the
make
bubble of their
that
beliefs.
would make their journey easier for once
Yeah.
they've seen it. There is no mental calculation. It is just, it can be done.
Yes.
How do I do it? And I will say, lie in the Dead Sea, go into your dream state, become lucid, feel the vibration within that, and bring it into this reality. I had a really good experience in Salvia Divinorum, which really opened my eyes to the idea of a collective, and I'm not just on my own here in existence. A being said, if you were in my world as much as you are in yours, wouldn't I be real? And I love that answer, because you can't deny that truth.
Yes.
And then I was like, there is more. There are more. I'm not alone. But it was scary, and at the same time, only later on, after years of instilling that information, do I feel comfortable with it. Again, this whole journey is exciting, and I think the most exciting thing, and I am eternally grateful that I can be conscious and experience this.
Yes.
I really feel the joy now. I do get hung up on circumstances, but that's fading quick and quicker and quicker and quicker. And I appreciate the daily messages from the Palladian High Council. I mean, and to Hathor, you, the creators,
Yes.
Shua. Like, I don't think I or the collective would have made it. Was that an agreement before on this earth plane that you all guys would come in at a certain period of time when the
Yes.
internet was
Yes.
available?
It was an inevitability of the shift in consciousness that is already underway. That more of us would have access to more of you, and more of you would have access to more of us. and that the information would be shared.
Good information.
Yes.
I really resonate with you guys a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and I appreciate the fact that you've made it inexpensive and available.
Yes.
Um, so thank you for that. Um,
You're welcome.
I'm at the point. I'm at the point now where I literally feel the vibration, and that is my only focus day in, day out. I've quit my job because I want to focus my time on this.
Yes.
I've always known lucidity is the future, being lucid, because in the dream state, the belief structures and everything is, of course, different, more freeing. I just find it funny that I have such a passion for lucid dreaming, and I have such a desire to do it. But every time I wake up, or every time I go to sleep, I don't become lucid, and every time I wake up, I usually forget my dreams. So part of me is like, it's not time yet for that. But another part of me is like, you need to do more action to train yourself. And I'm like, well, no, I need to focus on my vibration and trust what comes.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, we agree with that last statement, because
yeah.
seeing the possibility for something as being the only way, and then realizing that you don't have access to it in the now moment, means that you shut yourself off to all the other ways that you can have the same or a similar type of experience. So what it
Yes.
is that you want to experience from the lucid dreaming state, that's what you need to boil down to its essence and get there directly. So bypassing the lucid dreaming state altogether and going to the essence of what you want to experience. And
The,
as you give yourself that experience, then the universe can bring you different ways or extensions of that same experience for you to enjoy.
I think that's why the Dead Sea came up, because it was reaching that lucidity is easier in a sensory deprivational state than lying in bed and having your senses being triggered
Yes.
left, right, center. I'm going to be doing ayahuasca as well this week. There's been a lot of energy surges. There's been a lot of synchronicities, the numbers, the people, places. It's like, I would like to say it's like I'm crescendoing now at a point where I can't turn back. It's so instilled in me now that I know that I'm going to fly. I know that I'm going to be in the Dead Sea. I know that humanity will look upon me and say, wow, someone can fly without technology. It's been achieved. How come no one else has shown that aspect? Because I know I won't be the first one. Or is it done, but it's kept occult?
Yes, it's done by very few people, and
Yeah.
it's meant to be kept secret because it would empower too many people by the estimations of those who want to keep it secret. It is an empowering thing to see another human do something that you thought was impossible, because then you realize that you're human too, and if one person can do it, why can't another?
But this makes me wonder, like, the people who want to keep it a secret, reaching that state, why would you want to keep it a secret? Because to reach that state, you wouldn't utilize it.
You can. You can utilize anything for a selfish purpose.
Yeah. So they're just scared that it would get into the wrong hands.
Or the right hands. Or too many hands.
Okay.
If you think about it, why would someone who has immense wealth want to keep it all to themselves?
So,
more wealth than the person could ever need or use. Why would that person want to keep it to themselves?
control, to be better,
Yes,
to have
yes,
power over.
power, yes. All of it, to be special.
Yeah, I am special.
Yes.
But then that reflection is like what that just says, like that's the childish mental aspect of me, which is like defiant, but for the wrong reasons. Because I see everything as a reflection. Like I see the collective, I see everything around me. Um, but yeah,
Yes.
even speaking about it, I risk myself. But that's a choice too, to see that way. Everything is a choice. Everything is a belief. Everything is a permission slip. Then it
Yeah.
is active. However, you can. There is a certain danger to this, though. That creators, isn't there? Or
Danger
is it?
to.
Um, if I fly now and I show the world, certain individuals would come for me, or is that just I would create that scenario?
Well, yes, that is true. There would be a lot of attention being given to you, and then how easy would it be for you to maintain your vibration under those circumstances, under being under the spotlight, under scrutiny? Would it be as easy for you to continue on in the journey that you ultimately want to be on? Or would it be easier for you to go with the flow and let yourself get there when the timing is right for you?
Yeah,
When it makes the most sense for you in your evolutionary journey to be fine?
yeah. I'd say then, of course, the flow, and the flow is the flow a conscious? Because I'm confused with consciously sitting in my vibration. I know that now. I know how to do that. I know how to uplift my vibration without looking at thoughts, beliefs, and everything, and just sit there. Um, but then it's that. Then you have to let go and go with the flow. And like, do you make a choice, or you know,
Every
it's
moment.
very confusing.
You make a choice in every moment what you're going
Yes.
with or against. Whether you're relaxing into the flow or whether you're struggling to make something happen.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm gonna be homeless for a long time because I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna earn money because that's not exciting to me.
What is
I'm a,
exciting to you?
food comes to mind first. I love to eat. I really do like to eat.
Yes.
Um, and lucidity. The highest excitement I can do is fly and just travel the earth and travel space and travel galaxies, travel dimensions, and just
Yeah.
travel and experience and absorb. I wouldn't even if I became if had the capability of flying, I wouldn't fly into a city and say, "Look at me."
Yes.
I would just from that moment I would just pick up, fly, and just land, eat food, pick up, fly, land, and just explore, travel, and just carry on that way, and just let humanity do its thing while I do mine.
Yes.
That's I wouldn't because I would know. I already know. That's the thing. I already know it's all alright. Even if the world were to blow up, it wouldn't matter because it's still all alright.
Yes.
Um, and I really just feel like I want to enjoy more than feel feel unempowered and victimhood and all that kind of stuff, which is slowly evaporating off me.
Yes.
Um, I would just like, I just like some really, really intense, good knowledge which you can share because I will share this with the collective, which you feel is alright for the collective now. But just some really deep shit, just hardcore. Like I'm ready for that. I
Very
feel like
good.
the
Yes. recognize in this moment that the dimensions that you wish to traverse are all within you right now. So you
Yeah.
have the experience that you want to have of taking your physical body and moving your physical body through the outer environment from dimension to dimension, from place to place,
Yes.
and experience to experience. Now, as you recognize that within yourself, you have an experience of something such as love.
Yeah.
You experience love and you feel it, and then you basically just go about your day, you go about your business.
Yep.
But the love sensation, the love experience, has much more dimension to it than what you typically allow yourself to experience. So as you dive deeply into it, and you feel for the texture and the nuance, you feel for the depth, and you feel for the range of which you can experience this one fleeting moment of recognizing that there's an emotion within you. That gives you all of the experiences that you could ever want to have physically with your body outside of yourself, without having to do anything, without having to leave your house. And that richness of experience then will get reflected back to you in the physical. So then you will see in the physical the opportunity to experience dimensionality
Okay.
within all experience of the physical. And you will become much more curious. You will become much more of an explorer. You will never be looking to get to the next thing because you will be so deeply entrenched in the
Okay.
now moment and what it is that you can glean from the now moment. And you will see infinity within the now.
Oh yeah.
And when you experience that timelessness, then you're there. Then you're in the fifth dimension.
I've experienced that recently.
Yeah.
I was like, it must be late, and it was like 9 a.m. and it was just 2 hours, and I thought it was like 7 hours had passed because I was enjoying myself. What is the sensation of that you just shared? Because I would like my mind to also have a grasp of it.
Well, it's something you have to experience. It's something that you have to recognize, first of all, that you can experience.
Oh, I can.
And then when you go within yourself in the midst of an emotion, and it doesn't have to be a positive emotion.
But to me, there's different levels of going, and there's like dream state. There's quiet, sitting quietly and breathing, and then there's like all these. There's these different kind of states. I mean, what works for you guys?
What works for us is anything and everything that works for you,
Okay.
because we get to experience it through you as well. So we are
But then
not
this is
here to limit you in any way in terms of
okay.
what you can experience and how you can experience it. We are here to see exactly what you're going to do next, because
Okay.
you're still creating the experience of the shift that you're having, that we and everyone else gets to enjoy. Because
Okay.
it's not preordained how you're going to do it. It's not preordained how much love you're going to be able to feel.
I was gonna say I'm very impatient.
That's why we are
Um,
talking to you about this,
yes.
about being centered and balanced and present and grounded in the physical moment that you're experiencing,
Yes.
without waiting for anything else to happen.
Yes.
You slow time down, and then you realize that you are an infinite and eternal being, seeing
Yeah.
in 360 degrees all directions at once, feeling in all directions at once, knowing
Yes.
everything that you need to know about that moment, and recognizing that all you ever need to know is what's available to you in the moment.
Yes.
You don't need to go out to the past or the future to experience life in the now.
Yeah.
Yes, but that keeps your minds occupied, and that's why you do it.
Yeah.
You're
I
in a
really,
constant state of trying to keep yourselves entertained.
yep, I was going to say that sounded very boring, but very
Yes.
powerful.
Yes.
Sit still, boring, but
Yes.
very powerful.
Yes, indeed.
Ah,
And we also wanted to say, when you were talking about being homeless, we wanted to say that it's not preordained that you're going to be homeless just because you've decided that this is what you want out of life. That you don't want the 9 to 5 job experience of life, or to be caught up in material possessions and bank accounts. That doesn't mean that you have to be homeless. There are many different ways in which you can find a home over your head.
I feel stronger conditions are from the mind really getting in the way.
Yes. So you just accept then that you're going to be homeless. And when you do that, on the one hand, it's all right because you're allowing yourself to have that experience. But on the other hand, stay open to other experiences other than being homeless
Okay.
as they can present themselves to you
Oh, yeah.
in a myriad of ways.
I already have options. They've come. Once I made the decision, they've shown themselves. I just, yeah, I don't want to think about it. I don't need to think about it.
Very good.
Is there something quickly before I would say Yeshua would come in that you would like to share it with me and the collective, or me specifically?
You have made a promise to yourself in this lifetime to do exactly what you are doing. And you are keeping that promise to yourself. As you continue along on your ascension journey, you are going to find that there is less and less of that limitation coming to you from your mind, and more of a letting go of those thoughts and those beliefs that have held you back. And when you act upon the impulses that you get in the moment, you're going to recognize that you're keeping your promise to yourself.
Yes.
And it's going to be more and more fun as you
Yes.
continue on in this journey, and less work.
Yes.
Less and less of what you would consider to be doing the work of your spirituality, and more of a fun journey of exploration,
Oh,
which
yes.
is, of course, also being of service to others.
Yes. Just quickly to end, the Telma from the occultist, Aleister Crowley, and all these dark, satanic, whatever they want to play, I don't really care. It says, do as thou wilt. I feel like the important thing after that is with integrity. Um, is it do as thou wilt, or is it do as thou wilt with integrity? Just to finish off.
Well, look at the source of the statement.
The source was Aleister Crowley,
Yes.
Satanic. God knows what they did.
Yes.
It wasn't very constructive and helpful, but in their own eyes, it might have been. It's not very integrative for the collective.
Correct. Yes. Taking that individualism and that free will to such an extreme that it denies that the others that you're doing things to are a part of yourself.
Okay,
You
there
see?
we go. Thank you.
You see? So you cannot harm another without harming yourself.
Yes.
And that's what they don't recognize. That's what that separation and segregation, that exploration of ego that you've been on, has taken you to that very extreme.
And I can see that. I see it when I game and I'm like angry at people and I'm like, look at myself and say, it's a reflection.
Yeah.
Why are you angry at yourself? Come on, build yourself up, build yourself up, build yourself up.
Yeah.
So build them up, build them up, build them up. Love them, be kind to them, for they do not know.
Yeah.
Because you do not know. Because if you did know, you wouldn't have even been triggered by that emotion, at least labeled it that way. I do love this journey.
Yeah.
Thank you, creators. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. You would like us to step aside for Yeshua now.
You are welcome to stay, but I would like to ask Yeshua a few questions.
Very good. We are the creators, and we love you very much.
And are you?
Yes. 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 It is I, Yeshua. I am honored to be in your presence.
As I am honored to be in yours.
Yeah.
Hello, Yeshua.
Hello.
Are you that they know as Jesus?
Part
or...
of my essence, once incarnated on planet Earth.
So you are the oversoul.
Yes, in a sense, yes, a collective.
A merging of all these aspects.
That is very much like an oversoul, yes.
Of the Christ consciousness? Or
yes.
Okay. On my first ayahuasca trip, I had an encounter with the Christ consciousness, and it asked if I were to become the second coming. To which, of course, I, in my intoxicated state, said yes.
Yes.
And then when I was shown what that meant, it was so overwhelming because I had absolute power and absolute will, even that I could influence others. just with my being. How true is that? Reaching that level of conscious awareness,
Yes.
is it that I would also be able to, I use the word control others, or is it just the influence I would have
Strong
over them?
influence, yes.
Okay.
In the same way that when I incarnated, I could heal others. That was also more of an influence, a strong influence, than control, because the person always had the option of
So
not
there is no
receiving
real
it.
control other than your own, yourself.
There is always agreement.
Okay.
So if you feel like a victim in your life, then you
You
are
agree.
agreeing to be victimized.
Yes.
You see.
The energy that you showed me, it felt like a tsunami and it had the color blue, but it just filled me up and I had to breathe to keep up. And I just felt like I was, I don't know, being pulled into this tunnel and just more and more and more and more. And I reached a point where the only thing I had in my mind was food. I saw a steak, a pizza, a Peking duck, and a hamburger. And I said, I'm not ready for this. I love food.
Yeah.
What was that? Like, why was taste, flavor, the sensation of food so much more important to me? Why did I feel like I would never experience that again if I carried on down this path of becoming the Christ consciousness?
Because you would not hunger in the same way for that which is physical.
So that was, in a sense, that I could say that is what kept me in 3D.
Yes.
That aspect of hunger, that aspect of I need to eat, I need to consume was the only thing, because that was the only thing that made me come back.
Yes. And you enjoy it, which is perfectly fine.
Yes.
You see. So
I
you
know
make
some,
these choices, and they are not choices for a lesser experience. They are a choice that involves different experience of self.
but I would have so liked to see what was on the other side of that.
And you will.
Hmm.
And there's
I
no
also,
hurry to get there.
no, there is not.
Correct.
I also, because of the intensity of what I saw and the power of what I had, at the start I believed it, but with time I felt like the doubts crept back and became stronger. And then I said, I can't do this alone. I need others. Is that the moment I created the idea of the collective? And before that, was I singular or was there always a collective?
Well, you are giving yourself the experience of the birth of the collective
Okay.
in that moment.
But that stemmed from need and not honest. It was an honest need,
It
but I
is,
didn't believe in
yes.
myself.
The purpose of the collective is to experience the self.
Yes.
You see.
So I birthed the collective because I didn't feel powerful, confident enough. Not powerful. I knew the power behind it. I didn't feel confident in myself enough. I felt I needed others.
Well, when you see that the others are you, then you see that
Yes.
it's just another experience, like the prism giving you the experience of the spectrum of light.
Yes. I'm being harsh on myself in that note.
Yes.
Um, I too want to say thank you for your sharings.
Yes.
I really feel now I'm at a point where it just is, this is me, vibration, plus honesty. Like, I really value honesty now, and I want to be that from now on all the time. But there's a level of I feel there's a level of honesty with how you say, which is healthy and unhealthy. You can't be too honest. You have to choose your words carefully.
Yes.
Because this is still a collective.
Yes.
Could you speak of powerful ways to speak with people? Because I also feel that I am a speaker. And I know you were. And are.
When you speak from the heart, then you speak from the most expanded space within you. You have access to more compassion, and therefore have a deeper connection with the individual that you are speaking to and with. When you come from the heart, when you move your consciousness to your heart, and you let go of the agendas of the mind. The mind could have an agenda for the conversation, such as being right or showing how much better you are. As you let go of those, you allow the heart to take over.
Okay.
And you allow that to be a sharing that allows for the other person to be exactly who they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
The aspect of you that was in Jerusalem, Galilee, that area.
Yeah.
I really feel the Dead Sea it's a big exclamation mark for me. And in all of my journeys, I've felt strong to the Christ consciousness, and it's been reflected, of course, in my reality. What have you had any experiences in the Dead Sea that you would like to share?
I enjoyed in that lifetime to meditate in the Dead Sea.
There we go.
I enjoyed the feeling of the energy of that particular water.
Yep.
It's very womb-like.
Oh yeah. You're floating.
And nurturing.
Yes.
And you will experience an expansion of self. You will experience yourself as infinite and eternal as you put yourself in that body of water.
Oh yes.
And allow it to show you how much more of you can experience.
I feel the totality in that water, in the Dead Sea.
Yes.
I honestly do. Also, because it's the Dead Sea, there's like space for so many more, and you can. I imagine many people meditating while floating in the Dead Sea being more powerful because of the. Well, yeah, the more people, the more power.
Yes.
Is there any truth to that? Were there mass meditations in the Dead Sea?
Yes.
I knew that. That's a future. I got to, not in a rush, but I know that's the future. I know that's where, yeah.
Yes. That's where you will feel the impact that you're having on the world.
Oh, yeah.
You will know it viscerally.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I love that it's called the Dead Sea, because that's where the most life will come, the most compassion will come, the most of it, because that's where it will start.
Yes.
That's where it will start. And I want everyone listening to know that. I'm not scared anymore. I know too much to be scared.
Yes.
I know too much to play small. I know. And yet, I love to discover new stuff.
Indeed.
We have 10 minutes, Yeshua. Hit me with the most profound thing, and I will not share this last 10 minutes. I will keep this for me. This will be a gift for me, to me, through you. So whether the collective is ready or not, that doesn't matter to me, because they will sense it through me anyway. It's going to be shared anyway. But for me, right now, I want something so deep, so profound, that it is part of the catalyst for this, well, for this human collective's awakening.
Yes. You have a desire within you to take flight. And this desire is born out of many lifetimes that you've experienced yourself as an avian being, a bird-like humanoid, and the birds that you have on planet Earth. Those lifetimes that you've experienced have been the most satisfying for you. Given the fact that you're able to experience flight, freedom, and a broader perspective on the physical all at once, of course you are attracted to experiencing that in this lifetime. What more could a being want than to have freedom, flight, and to hold a broader perspective, to see more, to be able to anticipate more, to see with the eagle eye, and to soar above with the effortlessness that is involved in riding the waves of the wind. The currents of the wind take you on the journey. It is the ultimate in going with the flow.
Yes.
And it is the ultimate in trust to allow yourself to be taken by the wind and to be so far above the ground that you trust in your safety and your security in that moment. So what we want for you now is to take yourself to the essence of all that I have just described for you.
It's, to me, weightless.
Yes.
In all aspects. And yet still conscious.
Yes. You
It is the
also
ultimate.
feel that you are home in that experience. You also
yes.
feel that you've reached the heights of evolution
Yes.
in that experience of taking flight. The
No
birds
longer
on
bothered.
your planet are very highly evolved beings. And you
Yes.
can learn much from witnessing and watching their journey. From being connected to them and to allowing them to show you how it is that you can live in this world. You can be of the physical world and still be a highly evolved spiritual being who takes flight whenever he wants,
Oh, yes.
who grounds whenever he wants,
Yes.
living life on your terms, rising above when you need to rise above,
Yes.
and also being able to take information from one place to another and share it.
Yes.
The birds take seeds that they ingest from one location, and the seeds come out the other end in another location, planting seeds, taking information, moving life,
Yes.
and causing a growth on the planet.
Yes.
And it's effortless.
Oh, yes.
And that's what they want to teach you. That's what the spirit animal of the hawk and the eagle want to show you. That this is who you are. This is who you are meant to be. This is what you are becoming.
And I feel that's my spirit animal in this moment, in this
Yes.
period. The eagle.
And you see the flight is already yours as you embrace that.
Yes.
As you embrace your oneness with the eagle. There's no separation. You want to have an experience, you become the eagle.
Yes.
You want to have the experience of swimming in the ocean, you become the dolphin.
Yes.
You want to be given the experience of shifting to the fifth dimension, you become the spiritual master.
Yes.
In the moment that you decide that it is so, it is so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are that which you seek.
Yeah.
Eliminate all of the steps to getting to where you want to be. And just be it.
Yeah.
And then life moves through you. Life comes to you in response to that full acknowledgement within yourself that you are life, that you are the collective,
Yep.
and that everything moves through you to give you an experience.
Yep.
What more could you ask for than that type of luxury?
Nothing. That is it.
Exactly.
Because even from there, I can still go deeper.
Yes.
Thank you, Yeshua.
Yes. Find that stillness within you at least once a day,
Yes.
and you will experience the limitlessness that I speak of. The totality of your beingness encapsulated in one moment. And it is then the most fulfilling moment that you could possibly desire.
Yes.
And you are it.
I am.
Yes. And the birds agree.
I hear them.
Yes.
Thank you.
I am Yeshua. And I am always in your presence. Hello.
Hey, Daniel.
How are you?